Welcome to the Activated Story Theater's 160th podcast.
This episode, we bring you the story of the Three Heirs, a story from Germany.
Hi, I'm Dennis.
And I'm Kimberly.
And together we are the Activated Actors.
We are coming to you from Reno, Nevada.
Where we are making our annual get-together a new show month.
Yes, we are putting together a new show. It's called Tales Afoot, and it will be opening June 9th in Arkansas for the summer reading programs throughout the state. And we'll be telling you about some upcoming shows after we tell you the story, and a little bit about our travels to Germany and to Vienna, Austria.
Yes, this was back in January, and we went to Vienna, Austria for a day. We just took a stroll. It was very cold, but we took a stroll around and saw some historic sites. They have this fabulous opera house.
And they have, I guess they would call them stewards outside in costume.
Something in costume. People in costume who were there, and they spoke English, so they were able to tell us about upcoming opera performances and so on, which we were not able to go to.
No.
Our schedule didn't allow it.
Didn't have time, but we did see, and they also have what I would call it's like the Hollywood Stars Walk of Fame, except all of the stars are for musicians like Beethoven,
composers,
and Mozart.
Yes. Mozart he spent a lot of time in Vienna. He got married in St. Stephen's Church, which is a huge church right there.
It was so big that the day we were there, the top of it, we could not see the top of it because, it was foggy.
Yes.
But it was disappearing into the mist.
Mozart got married, and he had his funeral done in that church.
That church.
Of course, he had nothing to do with that, but no say in that.
But he's from Vienna area, which is why he was there.
But the most interesting thing about Austria, and this is there are a couple of interesting things about Vienna. Yes. First of all, there is you hardly notice it if you don't know what to look for, but right in the heart of the city, this big shopping center, basically.
Town square.
It's town square, yes,
yeah,
town square.
Plaza.
There's a glass case, and in this glass case, there is the trunk of a very old tree.
And this tree was alive during the times of when they had the road to Rome coming from St. Petersburg into Rome, and they would take the horse-drawn carriages along this road. And
back many centuries ago, it was considered good luck to drive a nail into this tree. And nails were very expensive back then compared to today. So driving a nail into a tree was making a big sacrifice. But there are dozens. Maybe hundreds of of old nails in this tree dating back to the 1400s.
Right. And no, they said that a nail was worth how much for a salary? It was like a
week's salary or something, or a month's salary or something like that.
Yeah,
anyway,
I think it was a month's salary. So it was a big deal, and they would consider it good luck to put the nail in this tree. And that tree is now enclosed in a glass case on the front of one of the stores. So if you're standing in Vienna and you're standing in the middle of the square, look around and see if you can find that.
And one other thing you have to do in Vienna is have some chocolate cake.
Oh, yes.
There is a place called the Sacher Café, and my German pronunciation is not as good as it used to be. Sacher is the way it's spelled. Right behind the opera house.
Besides, you can't pronounce it when you got your mouth full of cake anyway.
It's been in operation for over a century, and the chocolate cake there is legendary. So we had to go have some, and after having some, we see why it's legendary.
Yes,
it's just incredible.
There's nothing else like it. It's not exactly like rich German chocolate like you would think of.
It's not terribly sweet,
no.
But it is an incredible chocolate cake.
So
well-guarded secret recipe.
Yeah, and it's only made there. You can't get it anywhere else.
All right, so...
we did go to other places after we went to Vienna, but we want to tell you a little bit about Berlin right now.
Yeah, jumping ahead a little bit, and we'll backtrack later.
Because both Berlin and Vienna tie in with the story that we're going to be doing.
Yes, and they share a language, of course, and culture to some extent. Berlin was the most modern city we visited in Europe. I think part of that is a lot of it was destroyed during World War II, so it's been rebuilt recently, whereas most of the other cities had Berlin had some old things too.
If you're aware of what happened during World War II, they were the bad guys. But they are acknowledging that, and I think the people of Berlin today are very much moving forward, looking ahead. They're very progressive. And it's a very exciting place to be in.
And one thing that you have to do when you're in Berlin is see the Berlin Wall. There used to be a wall dividing East Berlin from West Berlin, and people living in East Berlin could not go past this wall.
No, they had to stay inside the wall. Some people could come visit them, family could come visit them, but they could not leave.
So, and the wall was torn down a few years back, of course, and
80s.
In the 80s, yes. That's been a few years.
But a couple decades.
A couple of decades, yes. But they left a part of it standing as a sort of a memorial, and it is covered with artwork. They call it the East Side Gallery now. And very, very interesting to go see this artwork there.
Yes, it's like statements of peace, and it was really neat to see that in person and to know the history of the Berlin Wall. We also got to go through Checkpoint Charlie, which was
It was an entry point between East and West Berlin, basically.
It was manned by the Americans and by the Allied forces, I believe.
Yes.
And so they were some Americans stationed there during the Cold War.
People who dress up in military costumes from the World War II era, and you can have your photo taken with them. You can even put on some of the costumes.
Right. And like I said, Berlin is very much progressive looking forward. And one thing they've started is these bears of peace.
They're fiberglass sculpture, different sizes, some of them very big, some of them not so big.
Yeah, they call them the buddy bears. And these bears each represent a different country.
You can see them all over Berlin
now, but they've also toured across the world. Every one is like a statue that they've painted from different countries to represent the different countries. Like we saw the one from America, and it's painted like, or it's made up to look like the Statue of Liberty.
That's the one at the American Embassy.
They have it at the American Embassy right now.
Berlin.
So if you look up buddy bears, you can see a picture of what they look like. That's where that all started, was in Berlin. And we have a story for you that comes from Germany. The Three Heirs, a story from Germany. Long ago in Germany, there was a father with 3 sons. The oldest was Peter, the second was Broderick, and the youngest was Hans. They lived in a big house out in the country. Now, the father was very ill, and he was not expected to live much longer. So, he gathered his sons together and said,
"Now, my sons, it is time to decide which of you will own this house and the property when I am gone."
"Why can't we all inherit the house and the property?"
"Because you 3 are all so different and you have a hard time agreeing on anything. So I've decided that one person should be in charge."
"It should be me, because I'm the oldest."
"It should be me, because I'm the biggest and the strongest."
"It should be me, because I'm not one of these two."
I was going to flip a coin, but I couldn't find one with 3 sides. So instead, I'm going to give you a little task to complete, and whoever does it the best will inherit the house and the property."
"Oh, no, not one of those. What kind of task?"
"Well, let me see. I want each of you to bring me a ram, like a male sheep, and whoever brings me the ram I like the best shall win." "Now, be off with you. I need to nap."
So the father fell asleep, and the sons began to make their plans.
"Where on earth are we going to find rams?"
"Well, the farmer down the road has some. Let's sneak in there at midnight and steal some." "Oh, wait a minute, guys! We can't steal! That's not right!" "If you don't want to steal a ram of your own, then don't come. We'll see you tomorrow."
"Yeah, in our house."
But Hans went to the farmer down the road and told him what his brothers were planning. "And you see, sir, I think I can stop them from stealing your rams if you'll just lend me a bag of flour."
A bag of flour? Did I sleep through something?
"Trust me, sir. You'll get your flour back, and you'll keep all your rams."
Very well. Whatever your plan is, I guess it's better than any I've got.
So Hans took the bag of flour, and he went out to the pasture where the rams were, and waited for his brothers to arrive. And right at midnight, sure enough, they came along.
"Shh! It's this way." "I can't see what you're pointing at. It's too dark out here. Why didn't we bring a lantern?
Somebody might notice it.
So how are we going to find our way? It's so cloudy tonight.
Just listen, and we should be able to hear the rams.
Ram! Ram!
See? There's one of them now.
Oh, is that what rams are supposed to sound like? I thought it was more like ba or something.
Oops. Ba! Ba!
There we go. That one must have a cold or something.
Well, he's about to have a new home. I claim that one. You can find one of your own.
Fine. Just hurry up and nab him so I can get mine.
Here, ram.
Ba! Ram! Ba! Ram!
But when Broderick got up close to Hans, Hans smacked him with a bag of flour.
Hey, that ram just rammed me.
You mean they really do that? I thought that was just an expression. Here, let me try. No, he butted me too.
That ram is certainly not very sheepish. Let's both grab him.
No,
And again.
These rams are just plain vicious. We better get out of here.
I'm right ahead of you.
And so, fearing for their lives, the two brothers ran back home. Hans returned the sack of flour, and then he went back home too. The next day, the father said to them,
Well, since not a single one of you brought me a ram, I can't really decide which ram is the best, can I? So then, let's try something else. How about tomorrow you all bring me a goose so I can decide which one of those is best?
And again, Peter and Broderick plotted and schemed to find geese.
Hey, I know where we can find some. The farmer who lives down the road in the other direction has plenty of geese. We'll sneak down there at midnight tonight and steal some.
Yeah, good idea. But Hans didn't like that idea at all.
Wait, guys! You can't steal the geese! That would be a very foul deed.
Listen, spoil sport. If you don't want to go on a goose chase with us, then you can stay at home. And then your goose will be cooked. We're going to go to that farm and get what's coming to us. And so Hans secretly went to the other farmer and told him what his brothers were planning to do.
Don't worry, sir. I can stop them if you'll lend me a pair of tongs.
Tongs? This is no time for a barbecue. I'm about to be robbed.
Trust me, sir. I promise I'll save your geese, and then bring your tongs back.
Oh, very well. I guess it's not the craziest thing I've heard today. Not quite, anyway.
So Hans went into the barn where the geese were kept and waited. And right at midnight, along came Peter and Broderick.
Okay, so why didn't we bring a lantern this time?
We don't need it. It's a clear night with a full moon.
Terrific. Now all we have to do is bring the moon into the barn with us.
Oh, yeah, I guess there's that. Well, listen, all you have to do is listen for the geese to make noise.
Goose! Goose!
There you go.
Boy, the farm animals around here have very strange dialects. I thought geese were supposed to honk.
Oops.
Honk! Honk!
There you are. Now all you have to do is feel your way over to where the geese are and grab one. And I'll do the same.
Okay, fine. Feeling my way over. Oops. I haven't found where the geese are, but I've found where they've been.
Oh, okay, I think there's one over here. And it seems to be a really big one. As big as a person. And when Peter got close enough, Hans pinched him with the tongs. Yow! That goose bit me.
I didn't think geese had teeth. Here, let me grab it. Ow! It bit me too.
Oh, got me again. Let's get out of here. So again, the two older brothers went running back home. Hans returned the tongs to the farmer once he stopped laughing, and then he went home too. The next day, the father said to them,
Okay. You couldn't bring me a ram. You couldn't bring me a goose. Maybe you can bring me something that won't fight back. Like, money.
Money?
Yes, whoever brings me the most money tomorrow shall have the deed to the house and all its property.
So Peter and Broderick talked it over. We have to come up with some place to get money.
Well, I've heard a rumor that goblins gather in a certain spooky little clearing in the woods every night at midnight.
So?
There's also a rumor that goblins carry a lot of gold. Now, if those two rumors happen to intersect, then ding, 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 we could make a fortune.
Aren't you afraid of goblins?
Oh, don't worry. I don't think they'll be carrying any rams or geese, and we'll scare them away instead.
How are we going to scare them? Tell them they're being audited?
We'll trick them. I'll climb up into a tree and dump water on them. That should scare them away. It will remind them of taking a bath.
And if not, I'll drop rocks on them. That should do it. They'll think they're being attacked by flying turtles.
Flying turtles?
Goblins are not terribly bright.
Let's hope not. What about you, spoil sport? You tagging along with us?
Sure.
And what are you bringing to fight goblins with?
A door.
I haven't cleaned my ears lately, but I thought I just heard you say you're bringing a door to the woods?
That's right.
Going outdoors doesn't mean taking the doors with you. This should be really entertaining. Come on, let's go. So the three brothers went to the spooky little clearing in the woods. Broderick carried the bucket of water, Peter carried a sack of rocks, and Hans carried a door. Well, actually, he dragged it most of the way. They got to the spooky little clearing in the woods, and Broderick climbed up a tree with his bucket of water. Then Peter climbed up another tree with his bag of rocks. And Hans climbed up another tree with his door. And they waited. And sure enough, right at midnight, along came a band of goblins.
Well, here we are at our usual spooky little clearing. Why do we have to come here every night at midnight and count our gold anyway? Huh?
Because that's what all the rumors say, silly. And goblins always have to obey rumors. Because...
I know. Because it's in our constitution. Let's just get on with it, so we can get back home and have some pizza.
But just as they set their gold on the ground and were about to start counting it, Broderick dumped his bucket of water on them.
Hey, it rained on me and I'm all covered with water. Yuck.
Don't be a crybaby. As soon as we get back home, you can just wash it off. Now come on, let's start counting.
But just then, Peter dumped his bag of rocks on them.
Hey, I've been hit by hailstones. Oh, where did all this weather come from?
I don't know. Seems mighty peculiar to me.
Maybe we shouldn't be out in these woods without an escort.
And just as they started again to count the gold, Hans dropped his door onto their heads.
Oh! The sky is falling! The sky is falling!
Quick! Let's get back home! There's no sky there!
So the goblins ran away as fast as they could, leaving their gold behind. Hans shimmied down the tree, scooped up the gold before his brothers could get any of it, and hurried back home. The next day, their father said to them,
Well, there's no doubt that Hans got the most gold, so he will get the deed to the house and the property that goes with it.
But I thought it was supposed to be whoever got the most money. That's not exactly money, it's gold.
It's still legal tender in most places, so it's good enough for me. That's just great. Now then, Hans, there's just one thing. Do you think you could use a little of that gold to buy a new door? One of ours just mysteriously disappeared.
Oops.
And that's the story of the Three Heirs with an H from Germany.
So heirs is H-E-I-R-S.
Yes.
They're the ones who inherit
Right.
things. So heirs and inherit.
Okay, so we have some shows coming up in June.
Do we?
Very busy June.
Yes. We have about, I don't know, a lot of shows for you in June.
About 15, I think.
I think about 15 in just Arkansas.
Yes.
And then after we perform in Arkansas, we will be heading to North Carolina, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, Delaware in July and August. But let's give you a rundown of where we're going to be in June so that you can come see a live show on stage performed by your famous Activated Story Theater.
We're famous? Wow.
Yes, we are.
At least on this block. Thursday, June 9th at 11 a.m. We're at the Marion County Fairgrounds in Summit, Arkansas for the Yellville Library.
Yes, on June 13th, we have 3 shows, Green Forest, Berryville, and Eureka Springs.
Tuesday, June 14th, we are at the Fayetteville Library, Fayetteville, Arkansas, returning there for the first time in a couple of years.
And then we will stay in that area for a couple of days. June 15th, we're at Rogers. June 16th, we're in Springdale and Bentonville.
Then June 21st, we go way down to Beebe, Arkansas.
And over to Walnut Ridge, Arkansas.
Then Wednesday, June 22nd, 2 shows for the Jonesboro, Arkansas Library.
At 2 different locations.
At 2 different locations. In the morning at the Parker Park Community Center, and in the afternoon at the mall at Turtle Creek.
Right. And then June 23rd, we will be coming back to Forest City, Arkansas.
And June 28th, yay, Hot Springs, Arkansas. Love Hot Springs.
Yes, so we will be there June 28th.
And then the 29th, back up to Judsonia, Arkansas.
Yes, and then we head off to North Carolina. So if you're in Arkansas, you know anybody in Arkansas, we've got you covered. There's certainly a show close enough to you.
We're jumping around all over the state, so there's got to be one close to you.
You can come see a program, and we would love to see you this summer. We will be doing stories. One of them's called Racing the Troll, which is a story that we've done in podcast before.
Yes.
It's the one with the twins, and that's all I'm going to say. And they trick a troll. We're also bringing back Stormalong. He's our giant, every trade has their giant, fabulous,
legendary hero.
Like
Paul Bunyan is perhaps the best known. Lumberjack.
Paul Bunyan.
Stormalong is the giant sailor.
And he is, the sailor Stormalong. And he's going to be racing a steamship.
And then we have the Gingerbread Man.
Gingerbread Man, yep. And the Tortoise and the Hare. So 2 of those stories will be performed at every location that we just mentioned. And those are all going to be libraries in Arkansas that we're performing for this summer. So come see us in June and check our schedule, see where we're going to be June, July, August. We have a lot of public shows coming up. And if you just look at our website, that's Activated Story Theater with an R-E at the end, not an E-R. So activatedstorytheater.com. Look for our schedule. And please come see a show. We'd love to see you. And I'll give you guys the heads up. If you come a half hour before the show begins, you can be in the show. This is for ages 6 and up. We will take the first 12 kids that come. So if the show starts at 11, you need to be there at 10:30. Then you will learn a part and you will get to perform on stage with us. We'll get you a costume and you're going to have a lot of fun. If you can't make that, that's fine. Come watch the show. You're welcome to come do that too.
Yes, and all ages can watch the show.
Yes. So we hope to see you all this summer, especially if you're in Arkansas. Lots of shows to come to. And
that's in June, and then in July we'll be heading east, so we'll tell you about that next time.
We will, and we'll bring you another story. I think next time we're going to be visiting Poland.
That's right.
Yes. Oh, we're excited to tell you about that. Okay, so we will catch you all next month. Stay activated.
Bye.
Activated Story Theater is committed to bringing fun, educational shows to schools and libraries nationwide. On stage, we use physical comedy, American Sign Language, imaginative props, and a giant, oversized book to bring multicultural folktales to life. For booking information, check out our website, activatedstorytheater.com, where you can also find out when the activated actors will be performing near you. Read a story or order one of our audio CDs. You can subscribe to this podcast on iTunes or listen on Stitcher. We look forward to your comments and folktale suggestions. Stay activated. Until next time.